From the radio service of Blaze Communications Network Incorporated, good evening and welcome to Blaze News Point. 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. Today is Tuesday, July 28, 2026. My name is Menso Mendy on top of today's presentation. Stories topping the headlines. President Joseph Boaga describes the newly completed 81-kilometer Banga Sadahid Road as a major milestone in Liberia's infrastructure development. From Montserrat County District 8 Representative Akaros Gray criticizes President Joseph Boaka's administration for what he considered as his failure to strengthen Liberia's anti-drug laws. Montserrat County District 6 Representative Sambia Enders describes Liberia's 179th Independence Day celebration as unique, citing the active participation of Liberians in the diaspora. And away from Liberia, Japanese emergency authorities say several people are trapped following a powerful earthquake that struck continental prefecture on the Softing Island of Hoshud on Tuesday. The news bulletin, the voices of those making the news and sports are all packaged on today's presentation. But first is Stephen Talu and the news bulletin. Stephen, good evening.
Good evening, Mandy. President Joseph Boaka has described the newly completed 81-kilometer Banga Salary route as a major milestone in Liberia's infrastructure development. Speaking Tuesday, July 28, during the dedication ceremony, President Boaka said the road will improve access to markets, boost trade to create opportunities for farmers and businesses, strengthen regional connectivity and improve the quality of life for Liberians. The president also witnessed the signing of a financing agreement for the Salary Conias Yela Road project, describing it as another step toward expanding the country's road network. Meanwhile, Public Works Minister Roland Giddens said the Banga Salary Road project is 99% complete, with more than 84% of the contract value already disbursed. He said the road was constructed to modern engineering standards and is expected to improve transportation, facilitate trade, and support economic growth for communities along the corridor. At the same time, Chinese ambassador to Liberia in Chanwu described the completion of the road as a significant milestone for Liberia's economic development. He said the project reflects the strong partnership between Liberia and China and reaffirmed China's commitment to supporting Liberia's infrastructure development, investment, and job creation. Former Montserrat County District Number 8 Representative President Joseph Boaka's administration over what he described as its failure to strengthen Liberia's anti-drug laws and effectively address the country's growing drug crisis. Speaking Tuesday on our sister program, The Roundtable, Gray argued that although President Boaka has repeatedly declared a substance abuse a national public health emergency, his administration has yet to introduce legislation to further strengthen the country's anti-drug framework. He said expanding rehabilitation facilities will help remove vulnerable youths from the streets, provide treatment, and support their reintegration into society. The former lawmaker further alleged that Liberia has become a major transit point for illegal drugs, and under the current administration, claiming cocaine trafficking has increased while the government's response remains inadequate. Gray also alleged that members of President Boaka's family have first-hand experience with drug addiction. He argued that if the president's family has been affected by substance abuse, the government should do more to expand rehabilitation and treatment services for Liberians struggling with addiction. Montserrat County District Number 6 Representative Samuel Enders has described Liberia's 179th Independence Day celebration as a unique, exciting, active participation of Liberians in the diaspora. Speaking to Blaze Radio during the Independence Day celebration in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County Representative Enders said Liberians around the world demonstrated increased patriotism by showcasing the country's rich cultural heritage. The lawmaker noted that Liberians living in the United States and other parts of the world gathered in large numbers to commemorate Liberia 179 years of nationhood while expressing hope for Liberia's continued progress and development. Representative Enos said Liberians are becoming more committed to promoting the image of the country internationally and are taking pride in a national identity. He encouraged Liberians at home and abroad to continue supporting efforts aimed at advancing Liberia's development. Chief Justice Yami Kwaku has abided Emmanuel Hitler, a city solicitor of the Ministry of Justice, from appearing before any court in Liberia after finding that he falsely presented himself as a licensed counselor at law. The judiciary said the decision followed an investigation into a complaint Hitler filed against Magistrate Naomi Crusoe, who refused to allow him to represent a client as a result of him not producing a valid law license. During the investigation, Hitler admitted that he had appeared in court and acted as legal counsel without being officially licensed. The Chief Justice ruled that Hitler's conduct undermined the integrity of the judiciary and prohibited him from practicing before any court in his capacity as a city solicitor. The inquiry also found that Magistrate Crusoe should have conducted a hearing on the property dispute that was the subject of the case. The chairman of the Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia, Decius Moroba, has criticized the Bouaka administration for rising unemployment, economic hardship, and its handling of Liberia's growing drug crisis. Speaking during an Independence Day protest, Moroba said worsening economic conditions have left many Liberians are struggling to meet their basic needs, while thousands of young people remain unemployed. He argued that although government officials were celebrating Independence Day, many citizens continue to face severe financial difficulties. The sub-chairman also accused the government of failing to dismantle major drug trafficking networks, alleging that law enforcement agencies are targeting only low-level offenders or those described as the masterminds remain free. Meanwhile, Moroba has called for the immediate release of imprisoned jurors, describing their detention as unconstitutional. He also criticized the Inspector General of Police, alleging that the Liberian National Police has failed to adequately protect lives and property while focusing on opposition. Renowned Liberian musician Miata Famula says Liberia is still struggling with the consequences of what she described as the failed leadership of former President George Weah. Speaking during an interview in Africa, Famula criticized Weah's 6-year presidency as disappointing, arguing that his administration left lasting challenges for the country. While acknowledging Weah's international achievements as a football icon, she questioned whether his success in sports prepared him for the demands of national leadership. Famula alleged that Weah lacked both the interest and the capacity to effectively govern, adding that the presidency requires a deep understanding of public administration and complex national issues, including the preparation and management of national budget. She also criticized former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, arguing that her endorsement of Weah ahead of the 2017 presidential election played a significant role in his rise to The president says she maintained that Liberia continues to bear the impact of decisions made during Weah's administration and called for stronger leadership to improve and move the country forward. Citizens Movement for Change political leader Musa Hassan Bility has expressed concern over what he describes as Liberia's worsening drug crisis, warning that the country is facing a serious threat from international drug trafficking networks. Speaking at a political gathering in Maserati County, Bility said illegal drugs are destroying lives of many younger Liberians, while those behind the trade continue to escape justice. He criticized the government's response, arguing the authorities have failed to arrest the alleged masterminds of the drug business and warned that the problem will not disappear without decisive decision. Bility also called on Liberians to reconsider their political choices, saying years of support for the country's two major political parties have not produced the level of transformation citizens expect. The CMC political leader announced a plan for a major party rally in September, saying the movement is preparing to compete for state power and provide what he called a new direction for Liberia. He urged supporters to remain united and committed as the party prepares for the next political season. Former Nema County senatorial candidate Mark Blivon has alleged that Senator Samuel Kuka has stopped communicating with him despite their long-standing political relationship. Speaking during a video interview, Blivon said political differences should not destroy personal relationships, adding that he has always respected the outcome of elections. He called that during the 2025 senatorial election, he contested on the ticket of the Citizens Movement for Change, and after Senator Kuka won, accepted the results and congratulated him. He further alleged that the senator failed to reach out or extend condolences following the deaths of several close family members, including his mother, elder sister, and mother-in-law. He also rejected allegations made during the 2025 campaign that the Citizens Movement for Change and its political leader Musa Bility were promoting division in Nema County, describing the claims as political propaganda. A 35-year-old man identified as Andrew Clark has been found dead along the New Georgia Estate Road in the St. Michael High School community, with residents calling for a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding his death. According to community members, Clark's lifeless body was discovered in the early hours of Thursday, July 28, a day after Liberia's 179th Independence Day celebrations. Residents described the deceased as a hard-working taxi driver who supported his family through transportation services and other income-generating activities, including broaching yachts and washing clothes. Community members said Clark was the sole provider for his son, mother, and other relatives, adding that he had no involvement in criminal activities. When it is alleged that classes believed to have been used in the attack were discovered at the scene. They also claimed that a nearby vehicle had a damaged windshield, suggesting that a violent confrontation may have occurred before Clark's death. Marketeers operating in the commercial hub of red lights in Painesville are calling on the leadership of the Painesville City Corporation to urgently remove a massive pile of garbage that they say is threatening public health and disrupting business activities. Speaking to Blaze News on Tuesday, July 28, several marketeers expressed frustration over the growing heaps of waste, which they said have spilled onto the main road linking the Monrovia-Kakata Highway to Red Light, one of Liberia's busiest commercial centers. The marketeers accused the city corporation of ignoring repeated abuse to provide a cleaner and safe environment for traders and customers. They warn that the unsanitary unsanitary conditions are exposing both business owners and the public to serious health risks, including cholera, diarrhea, typhoid, and other communicable diseases. The marketing has criticized the Painesville City Corporation for failing to uphold its responsibility of maintaining a clean and healthy city despite collecting taxes and other fees from businesses and residents. And away from Liberia, Japanese emergency authorities say several people are trapped following a powerful earthquake that struck Kumamoto Prefecture on the southern island of Kyushu on Tuesday. According to Japan's fire service, the earthquake caused part of the second floor of a shopping center to collapse, leaving an unknown number of people trapped inside. A Japanese official also confirmed to the BBC that several people remain unaccounted for at the shopping center and at the nearby factory where a channel collapsed during the earthquake. Blaze News.
Steering titled with the news bulletin is indeed a regular featured on Blaze News Point. For noon fast factual and always up to date, you are just in tune to Blaze News Point. Here are the big stories topping the headlines. President Joseph Boaga describes the newly completed 81-kilometer Banga Sarahid Road as a major milestone in Liberia's infrastructure development. Former Monsuado County District 8 Representative Akaras Gray criticizes President Joseph Boaka's administration over what he considered as his failure to strengthen Liberia's anti-drug laws. Monsuado County District 6 Representative Samia Enders describes Liberia's 179th Independence Day celebration as unique, citing the active participation of Liberians in the diaspora. And away from Liberia, Japanese emergency authorities said several people are trapped following a powerful earthquake that struck Kumamoto Prefecture on the southern island of Kyushu on Tuesday. The voices of those making the news and sports are stay ahead, but this break, Toby, we're back. Thanks for rejoining us. We're going to take our first development. President Joseph Boaka has described the newly completed 81-kilometer Banga Sarahid Road as a major milestone in Liberia's infrastructure development. Speaking Tuesday, July 28, during the dedication ceremony, President Boaka said the road will improve access to markets, boost trade, create opportunities for farmers and businesses, strengthen regional connectivity, and improve the quality of life for Liberians. The president also witnessed the signing of a financing agreement for the Sarahid Konian Zozo Yalit Road project, describing it as another step towards expanding the country's road network.
The dedication of Banga Sarahid Road and the signing ceremony for Sarahid Konya Zozo Yera Road financing agreement has just been done. Today marks another defining moment in Liberia's journey of renewal and transformation. We gather not only to dedicate a completed 81-kilometer Banga Sarahid Road, but also to witness the signing of a financing agreement for Sarahid Konya Zozo Yera Road project. So, together, these milestones demonstrate what genuine partnership, mutual trust, and a shared commitment to development can achieve. In a casual chat with our partners, I told them all of these notwithstanding, it is not just about roads and road construction, it's about relationship. Relationship, that's where it starts. When people sit and have resources to support relationship of people they don't even know, that's what we call true relationship. I want to thank you so much. They are creating opportunities for farmers, traders, students, businesses, and families.
Meanwhile, Public Works Minister Roden Guinea said the Banga Sarayed Road project is 99% complete, with more than 84% of the contract valued already disbursed, and he said the road was constructed to modern engineering standards and is expected to improve transportation, facilitate trade, and support economic growth for communities along the corridor.
We are pleased to report that as of June 2026, the project has achieved approximately 99% physical completion against 84.48% of contract value disbursed. The work delivered span the full range of civil engineering work required to transform this corridor. The project was engineered to a standard that reflects both rural characteristics of much of this corridor and the urban realities of the 8th settlement within this corridor. The design integrates geometric, structural, and cross-sectional elements developed to save traffic safely and efficiently for decades to come. The road pavement structure consists of an engineering subgrade of a 250 millimeter subbase, a 200 milliliter crushed stone base course, and a 50 milliliter asphalt concrete wearing course. The structure ceased to carry the projected volume of commercial and passenger traffic, including cross-border traffic, freight traffic, over the design of this.
At the same time, Chinese ambassador to Liberia Yen Chen-hung described the completion of the road as a significant milestone for Liberia's economic development.
The dedication of this project is of great significance to the economic and social development of Liberia. Infrastructure is one of the cornerstones of economic and social development. Better roads improve connectivity, facilitate trade, lower transportation costs, expand access to markets. The commissioning of this project represents Liberia government's effort to serve the people. Over the past 2.5 years, President Boakai have led the Liberian government and the Liberian people in making every effort to advance the implementation. Today's event reflects the Liberian government's strong commitment to improving infrastructure, promoting economic development, and
That's the voice of Chinese ambassador to Liberia Yen Chen-hung describing the completion of the road as a significant milestone to Liberia's economic development. You also listen to the voice of Public Works Minister Roden Guinness revealing that the Banga Sarayed Road project is 99% complete, with more than 84% of the contract valued already disbursed. You also listen to the voice of President Joseph Boakai describing the newly completed 81-kilometer Banga Sarayed Road as a major milestone in Liberia's infrastructure development. To this development, former Monsuaro County District 8 Representative Akaros Gray has criticized President Joseph Boakai's administration over what he described as its failure to strengthen Liberia's anti-drug laws and effectively address the country's growing drug crisis. Speaking Tuesday on our sister program, The Roundtable, Gray urged that although President Boakai has repeatedly declared substance abuse a national public health emergency, his administration has yet to introduce legislation to further strengthen the country's anti-drug framework, and said expanding rehabilitation facilities will help remove vulnerable youths from the streets, provide treatment, and support their reintegration into society.
So President Boakai has been almost 3 years. The Constitution provides for the President to present a legislative agenda of the country. The President had a two state of the nation address. The President has not been able to present a single legislation on amending the just law of the country. When we were there, I'm one of the co-sponsors of the just law. Goswa from Grand Bassa County, Representative Goswa, is the chief sponsor of the just law. We amended the just law of the Republic of Liberia 2023 to make it a non-bailable offense that even those who harbor the judge in the home and property that you stole the judge, that will be confiscated by the government of the Republic of Liberia. For a group of people to come and accuse the government who did more than just in strengthening the law, and you committed yourself, President Boakai, that you will further strengthen that law. In 3 years, you have been unable to amend the just law. It's a failure on your part. Secondly, he declared just a national health emergency, quote unquote. A national health emergency. What health situation? How are you been helping the young people of this country? Where's the rehabilitation center being constructed after 2 to 3 years of your presidency? None. President Boya right in the back here, not far from your radio station, he building basilicas. He buying bulletproof vehicle of 1.2 million United States dollars. He building a place in Foya of over $10 million. Had the president constructed that area for $10 million and take our brothers from in the streets of the Republic of Liberia and place them to my project, those who use drugs, and place them there for rehabilitation, the nation will have clapped for him. The nation will have clapped for him. At least you have been in an isolated area where you have been rehabilitated, then they can get reintegrated into the society.
Gray also alleged that members of President Bwaka's family have first-hand experience with drug addiction. He argued that if the president family has been affected by substance abuse, the government should do more to expand rehabilitation and treatment services for Liberians struggling with addiction.
When I hear people talking about drugs, and I know people who do drugs, that the son of the president does drugs, and I take full responsibility for what I say, not the radio station. I know Tantan does drugs because he's my friend. I've known him for some time. I know Jojo. We rode for the 6 years under George Weah. We rode for part of the 6 years that I served under the study. So I know them. It's not a joke. President Boya wants to first judge, he should start from in his household. I'm telling you this and I hold no apology. And I can never withdraw this statement. President Boya is fully cognizant of the fact that he has sons who do drugs, who do marijuana. Not only that, they do other drugs. Even right near a house, the entertainment area, they open there, they sold out of jobs there, said they have stopped. That's something that I know. Because when I know the facts, I say the facts. We all know that. Right after the election for 2023, the 1 month grace period between December to January before inauguration, President Boya sent one of his sons to Lebanon to the rehab. How many Liberians will have that opportunity? If I were the president, I would come up publicly and say, look, my son is a victim. Because my son is a victim, okay, and I know many cases are victims, many young people are victims. I'm going to fight just with everything.
That's the voice of former Monsuado County District 8 Representative Akaros Great, alleging that members of President Bwaka's family have first-hand experience with drug addiction. At the same time, criticizing President Joseph Bwaka's administration or what he described as his failure to strengthen Liberia's anti-drug laws and effectively address the country's growing drug crisis. Monsuado County District 6 Representative Samuel Enders has described Liberia's 179th Independence Day celebration as unique, citing the active participation of Liberians in the diaspora. Speaking to Blaze Radio during the Independence Day celebration in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, Representative Enders said Liberians around the world demonstrated increased patriotism by showcasing the country's rich cultural heritage. The lawmaker noted that Liberians living in the United States and other parts of the world gathered in large numbers to commemorate 179 years of nationhood while expressing hope for Liberia's continued progress and development.
Got here yesterday. I attended a service. It was a good service. I enjoyed Reverend Paula White, a message of our history, of who we are. Our identity was very important. Coming today, I look forward to an amazing celebration. It's been colorful, looking at the flags, people parading. It was good yesterday. I heard some of the earth-moving equipment was presented to the county. We're grateful to God, grateful to the government, and we look for a better country, a better future for all of us. I think around the world, Liberian is starting to become more patriotic. So in New Jersey, in Minnesota, in Philadelphia, around the world, Liberians are becoming more patriotic. They are understanding and accepting that Liberia is the only country we have. So it's not just unique to Liberia, but all over. Yesterday in my district, the young people gather. You know, every Sunday they do the bunch, but they gathered yesterday to celebrate. I think it's a good opportunity. It's something all of us should take credit for.
That's the voice of Monsuado County District 6 Representative Samuel Enders describing Liberia's 179th Independence Day celebration as unique, citing the active participation of Liberians in the diaspora. It is 9:30 news hour. We now go to Studio B, where Luke Joy is seated with the passion of last post. Luke, good evening.
Africa made a winning return to the Total Energy CAF Women African Cup of Nations with a dominant 4-1 victory over Burkina Faso in the Group B opener on Monday in Casablanca, Morocco, making their first appearance in the tournament in 12 years. The Lady Elephants took control early with Rebecca Elliott opening the scoring from the penalty spot before innings connected twice. Burkina Faso reduced the deficit through Ataman Congo early in the second half, but Nisrat Ozagu sealed the victory with Africa's fourth goal. The impressive win gives Africa a strong start in Group B at the aim to reaching the knock-up competition. MP8 Agner Football Club has strengthened their defensive squad with the signing of experienced defender Pascal Harris on a free transfer following the expiration of a contract with Wodogisi Football Club. As Harris joined the Port Boars as head coach, Simon Kamara continued to reshape his team ahead of the 2026-2027 Liberia First Division League season. Known for a composure, experience, and defensive discipline, Harris is expected to add stability to the club back line while providing leadership both on and off the pitch. The experienced defender made a name for himself with Wodogisi FC, where he established himself as a dependable performer. Lastly, LPRC Football Club has officially completed the signing of Liberia senior national team forward Daniel Toe from Leska FC as the club continues to strengthen its squad ahead of the 2026-2027 LFA National League. Toe has built a reputation as one of Liberia's more consistent forwards through his hard work and impressive performances. He first gained national attention during the National County Sports Meet before earning a move to BRC2, where he continued his development and established himself as a reliable goal scorer. The experienced cracker joins the others board following a successful 3-year stint with Leska FC, where he played a key role in the club achievement. During his time with the shipping boards to help the team win 5 major trophies. That's sports.
Many thanks to Luke Jode with the passion of last post is indeed a record of featured on Place in News Point. We don't take more development. The chairman of the Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia, Odysseus Moba, has criticized the Bouakar administration over the rising unemployment, economic hardship, and its handling of Liberia's growing job crisis. Speaking during an Independence Day protest, Moba said worsening economic conditions have left many Liberians struggling to meet their basic needs, while thousands of young people remain unemployed. The sub-chairman also accused the government of failing to dismantle major drug trafficking networks, alleging that law enforcement agencies are targeting only low-level offenders, while those he described as the masterminds remain freed.
All we have stood for over the years is for the people. And anything that affects the people automatically affects the revolutionary vanguard association party. So, you are seeing that today is very quiet today because Mr. Bouakar and his staff, the clergymen, so-called clergymen, they are enjoying extravagant display in Grand Pastor Country, while the mass of the people cannot find a daily bread. If you see the celebration in Grand Pastor Country, you realize that the celebration was intended to satisfy those who are adherent. Look at the mass of the people. Yesterday we saw the mass of the people around celebrating Liberia. They were not celebrating Mr. Bouakar. Mr. Bouakar has done nothing to impress the Liberian people. In the Revolutionary Student Education Party, that has the blood, that has the courage, will be the only institution to inform Bouakar that you are still on your responsibility. So we have come to continue the march for job and just believe that the country is confronted with the question of job. And there's a reality we cannot ignore. Thousands of young people are languaging, thousands of young people in Buchanan, in Banga, in Morocco, and all parts of Liberia. They cannot get access to job. And there's a clear fact that we must approach our students and as masters of Liberia. The Bouakar region refuse to provide jobs for our people. All we have acquired under the Bouakar region, it is the proliferation of jobs. And that's what we are seeing today.
Meanwhile, mobiles called for the immediate release of imprisoned jurors, describing their detention as unconstitutional. He also criticized the Inspector General of Police, alleging that the Liberian National Police has failed to adequately protect lives and property while focusing on opposition groups.
You cannot oppose the decision of the people. It will be rejected by the people. Burkam will ensure immediate release those who are in prison unconstitutionally, or he will face the wrath of the Liberian people and the wrath of the Banga. The Burkam regime must know that Sue will never ever be intimidated by a reckless police IG that has displayed unprofessionalism, that continue to abuse the action of being a police director. The Inspector General is very inept. He is a political Inspector General who cannot protect the life of the people. If you go in the street, if you go in the Leeward County, the people are vulnerable, the people are dying from armed robbery, the people are dying from attack by people. But this IG cannot protect life and property.
That's the voice of the chairman of the Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia, Odysseus Moba, calling for the immediate release of imprisoned jurors, describing their detention as unconstitutional. At the same time, criticizing the Blanca administration over the rising unemployment, economic hardship, and its handling of Liberia's growing job crisis. Today's development, former Nima County senatorial candidate Mark Bliwan has alleged that Senator Samuel Kogard has stopped communicating with him despite their long-standing political relationship. Speaking during a radio interview, Bliwan said political differences should not disrupt personal relationship, adding that he has always respected the outcome of elections. And recall that during the 2025 senatorial election, he contested on the ticket of the Citizen Movement for Change. And after Senator Konga won, accepted the results and congratulated him.
So I contested on the Citizen Movement for Change ticket with the CMC. I know the biggest thing Liverpool could say that I never to lawyers. Musa Bede is a Manigo man. He said he would turn Liberia to a Muslim state. And all those things were saying, other people say we are trying to divide Nima, so Nima can't get her way through. The masses spoke, they spoke the way they want to speak, and the result came out, Koga became the winner. We all congratulated him. Today, Koga cannot speak to me because he felt that was his inheritance. He does not speak to me. Koga does not speak to me. My mother died, Koga did not identify. My big sister was a friend to Koga. She just died in recent time in Morovia. The war is aware. He never spoke to me. And my mother-in-law died. Just from December to Kara, I've gone through. He does not even speak to me when he's sitting in the midst of the people. But I stood by him 3 times in 3 elections. He knows why he and I passed through in election when he were in District 5. So they spoke in a direction, so we all know that after election when you win, the role you have is to unite people. But are we seeing Koga, Yatwa, and the rest of the guys who taking the lead for the Senate now to unite our people in Nima? No. Now he's sitting there, Koga is making confusion with the vice president, even with the people of Nima. Now not brought peace one day. Koga, he said, does not have the man for peace. That's how he led, District 5 throughout until today he's a senator.
That's the voice of former Nima County senatorial candidate Mark Bliwan, alleging that Senator Samuel Kogan has stopped communicating with him despite their long-standing political relationship. Renowned Liberian musician Miata Famule says Liberia is still struggling with the consequences of what she described as the failed leadership of former President George Weah. Speaking during an interview in Accra, Famule characterized Weah's 6-year presidency as disappointing, arguing that his administration left lasting challenges for the country. While acknowledging Weah's international achievements as a football icon, she questioned whether his success in sports prepared him for the demands of national leadership.
Her lasting legacy will be that she unleashed George Weah on us. That's the legacy I give to Mrs. Salif. He can't talk much. You won't get much out of him. He's not very articulate either. I'm sorry. He's a fantastic football player, okay? He's a fantastic player. At least that's what they say, because even when I was in England, I wasn't that much into football, and I understand he played at one time for Liverpool or something. Yeah, I didn't follow his football history. But the background that I come from, we didn't see football players as national political leaders. And I'm sure that's everywhere in Africa. I mean, I never heard Ghanaians saying Abedi Pele can be president. Well, this is our own case too. George Weah is an Abedi Pele. They should stick to their profession and everything. But Madame Salif thought it would be interesting. Under the guise of generational, so she unleashed George Weah. Yeah, she did it because I'm saying at the end of the day, how did he get into the political class? He could have stayed there forever. We would not have voted for him. The majority of sound thinking Liberians, they would not have voted. But Madame Salif, like I said, foisted him on us, literally held up his hands and as the successor. And there was nothing we could do.
That's the voice of renowned Liberian musician Miatat Famuled, revealing that Liberia is still struggling with the consequences of what she described as the failed leadership of former President George Weah. And lastly of the news, Citizens Movement for Change political leader Musa Berete has expressed concern over what he describes as Liberia's worsening drug crisis, warning that the country is facing a serious threat from international drug trafficking networks. Speaking at a political gathering in Monserrado County, Berete said illegal drugs are destroying the lives of many young Liberians, while those behind the trade continue to escape justice, and criticized the government response, arguing that authorities have failed to arrest the alleged masterminds of the drug business and warned that the problem would not disappear without decisive action.
Our country is in trouble. We are in serious trouble. We have drugs in the country that are killing our children. Even though the drug has been arrested, but no serious human being has been arrested behind the drug. Liberia is touring with danger because the international cartel has now focused on our country. And yet, the governor of Liberia thinks that it is a joke, or it is one of those things that will fade away in 10 days. We want to tell them that this will not fade away. We also want to use this time to tell all of you that the distance we have to travel is far, but it starts right here with you. This country is aware. Since 2005, since the last two elections, you have voted one way and you voted for the same two parties and you have got the same result. Continue to vote that way and don't expect anything else from this country. If you want to change the country, it is not upon them, it is upon you. We are going to stand up. CMC is coming on the freeway in September.
That's the voice of the Citizen Movement for Change political leader Musa Berete, expressing concern over what he described as Liberia's worsening drug crisis, warning that the country is facing a serious threat from international drug trafficking networks. Well, listeners, on this notice, I would love to come to the end of the Tuesday, July 28, 2026 edition of Blaze News Point. We'll go to recap of the major stories. President Joseph Boakai describes the newly completed 81-kilometer Banga-Salayed Road as a major milestone in Liberia's infrastructure development. Former Monserrado County District 8 Representative Akaros Gray criticizes President Joseph Boakai's administration over what he considers as his failure to strengthen Liberia's anti-drug laws. Monserrado County District 6 Representative Samuel Enders describes Liberia's 179th Independence Day celebration as unique, citing the active participation of Liberians in the diaspora. And away from home to Benin's emergency authorities say several people are trapped following a powerful earthquake that struck Kamamanto Prefecture on the Soften island of Kashu on Tuesday. We say many thanks to our news director, editor, reporter, and correspondent for making this edition of Blaze News Point of sources. Steven Talu brought you the news bulletin. Luke Joe brought you the passion of last post. Aaron Kabasa controlled and coordinated this presentation. On behalf of the News and Current Affairs Department of Blaze Communications Network Incorporated, my name is Menso Mendid, I presented. Good evening and have a pleasant night from Pinsville.